Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something that I have kind of toyed around with for a little bit and decided to just go ahead and do it. I've seen some other YouTubers do this where they do like story times or like true crime stories, and then they do their makeup. So I thought it would be fun to do movie reviews and then do makeup. I'm not going to be doing a full face. Obviously, I have some of my makeup on, but I'm mainly going to be doing my eyes. So that's what we're going to do today. Today, I'm going to be reviewing My Blue Mind. Awesome movie. And to go along with the movie, we are going to be using the Blue Moon palette. I haven't tried this out. I'm going to use it on camera. I've got all my stuff here. I figured I didn't have enough to say necessarily to do a full face. But yeah, we're just going to get into it, and there are going to be spoilers, so if you don't want to know a lot about the movie, then maybe don't watch the whole review. But yeah, there are going to be spoilers. So, and yeah, before we get started, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button down below, and yeah, let's just jump in. I'm not going to talk about the products I'm using. I will leave them in the description box, and my mirror's right here, so if you see me looking, that's what I'm looking at. But yeah, My Blue Mind I found on Shudder. I don't know if it is available on any other platforms or if it's a Shudder exclusive. Shudder, if you don't know, is a streaming service. It's like Netflix, but it's only horror movies. It's $5.99 a month. When you sign up, you can get a week free. When I signed up, I actually had a code to get a month free trial. So if I can find that, I will leave that down below, but definitely check it out if you're a horror fan. So I was on the road with my husband. He's a truck driver for like 10 days, and I came across this on Shudder and decided to watch it one night when I couldn't sleep. It is again called My Blue Mind. I feel like there's dog hair, so if you see me itching my face, it's probably because there's dog hair on my face. But it's a Russian movie, so there's subtitles. Now, I normally, like with normal movies, I don't have a problem with subtitles. I have a hard time with subtitles in horror movies because I feel like I'm reading and then I miss stuff. But I couldn't sleep one night. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And it is a horror movie in the sense that the things that are happening to her are horrific. It is about a girl named Mia. I will leave her name down below. I think her first name was Luna. So Mia is turning 16, and strange things start happening to her. She starts to turn into a mermaid. And so I mean, I guess it is a little bit, could be considered a little bit gory towards the end, but it's not a slasher movie. It's not a serial killer movie. It's not anything like that. It's just, it's the 16-year-old girl, or soon to be 16-year-old girl, wakes up and she's slowly starting to change. Now, she doesn't know, obviously, that she's turning into a mermaid. She knows that something is happening to her. She doesn't want to tell her parents, tries to keep it a secret. She's, I'm going to turn my daughter's monitor off for just a little bit so you can't hear her music, but she starts a new school, so she's, trying to fit in, trying to make friends. So she's dealing with all of that, and then this weird stuff is happening to her, and she doesn't want to obviously tell anybody, because how do you go up and tell somebody, hey? And like I said, she doesn't know, I don't think, that she's turning, that's what's happening to her, but she knows like something's happening to her, something weird. She doesn't know why. So yeah, it's a horror movie in the sense that the things that are happening to her are horrific. Like I would consider this to be a little bit probably more, not necessarily low budget, but I think it was definitely, it's an independent movie, I would assume, in Russia. But the special effects that they did were really well done. Like, it wasn't cheesy, it was really believable. the whole transformation process with her was really realistic and believable. And they cast it really well. Like, you start to feel like you're almost watching like a reality show with like real people. They cast it really well, and you really start to think that these are just normal, like real, not necessarily normal girls, but that these are real people. You forget that you're watching actors, if that makes sense. The girls that they had playing, the girls at the school that she becomes friends with, the one in particular, she makes friends with the party group, the popular girls, and the one that was in charge, becomes her best friend. And they did such a good, like I said, I was watching it, and you forget that you're watching a movie. Like, you start to think that this really happened to somebody, and you get really sucked in and drawn in, and you're just like, I was like on my edge of my seat, like this is horrible, the things that are happening to her. It's a coming of age almost. She's experimenting with, sex and drugs, and there's, some partying going on. She's trying to figure out who she is in the process. And then I think also a little bit she's trying to like drown out the things that are happening to her, because again, like I said, she doesn't want to tell her parents. And they kind of hint at the fact that maybe her parents aren't like her real parents, but they don't ever come out and answer that question, so you're kind of left wondering that. But I was so surprised when I watched it, because it was one of those where I went in thinking, this is going to be dumb, not because it's a foreign film necessarily, but, just the concept. I was like, this is going to be dumb. And I was watching this, and as I was watching it, I was like, this isn't a horror movie. But then I was like, well, I guess it kind of is. I will say it, when I was reading the comments on Shudder that people had left, because people can leave like reviews on the movies, so you can kind of figure out if you want to watch it or not. And somebody left the comment that it's not a movie for the average person. Or it's not a movie for the average movie watcher. So if you just like to watch normal, run-of-the-mill, typical films, you probably wouldn't like it. I mean, it is a little, and I would agree with that statement. It is a little bit out there. It's not a normal and it's not a normal run-of-the-mill horror, fantasy movie. But it was so, I can't stress enough, it was so just well done. And like I said, I think they did an amazing job casting it, because the girl that plays Mia was just like, she was just so believable. You really get sucked in, like I said, and you really start to think like you're almost watching somebody's life. You're not watching, you forget that you're watching a movie. You start to feel, I felt like I was watching somebody's life, like I was peeking through a window. At one point, like I was spying on somebody. You just really, and you feel for her, and you feel so bad. And it's one of those movies, like it stayed with me after I was watching it. After I watched it, I was like, man, like it really, like I just couldn't stop thinking about like what had happened to her, the stuff. I will say, the transformation process with her is slow, and it's, like I said, they did a good job with the special effects. So that part was a little bit gross. So if you don't like, if things make you like grossed out, especially like peeling skin, I would say maybe at least fast forward those parts or don't watch it, because there is, obviously she's turning into a mermaid, so she's starting to grow a tail, and so she gets like these weird patches and like pieces of skin, like her toes start fusing. And they did it, and it didn't look corny. Like I was thinking that part of it was going to be really corny, and they did. I think maybe they kept the budget low everywhere else, and that's where they spent a lot on, which was well worth it, because it was whoever did, and I'll look it up, whoever did the special effects and the The makeup did an amazing job. Like, you really feel like you're watching somebody turn into a mermaid. Like, it looks real. If somebody was going to turn into a mermaid, that is what it would look like for sure. So they did, like I said, whoever they got did it a phenomenal job. So the special effects in that aspect were really, really good. But yeah, it definitely was one of those movies that just stayed with me, and I remember thinking about it for days, like, and you're kind of like, what did I just watch? But yeah, it's not like a normal, run of the mill, everybody's gonna like it movie. A lot of, like, and it's not to sound offensive, but if you don't like watching those independent movies, the movies that are a little bit out there, I would say you're probably not gonna like it. Like, Pan's Labyrinth comes to mind, because that's another movie where it's a little bit out there and it's different and it makes you think, and it's not like a normal movie. Not to say that it's the same kind of movie, but that was another one of those movies that really makes you like think about, geez, like, what did I just watch? What just happened? What did I just witness? Kind of a thing. So that's the only reason I bring that movie up, because that's another movie where it's not a typical movie. It's a little bit out there. But if you like movies that are different, definitely check it out. And if it doesn't bother you to read subtitles, like I said, I wasn't going to watch it. I had looked at it for about a week and I was like, no, I'm not going to watch it. It's in Russian. Because like I said, I don't like reading, and it's not that I don't like reading subtitles. I don't like reading subtitles when I'm watching a horror movie. Like I said, I feel like I miss things, like especially like the ghost slasher movies for me are a little bit easier. Like the ghost movies, I feel like I'm missing things because there's stuff happening and there's a lot of like hidden stuff happening, and I'm like busy reading and then I'm not paying attention. So that's just to me. Like, I don't think everybody probably feels that way, because foreign horror movies are really big in the horror community, especially like the Japanese ones. And there's a lot of them I haven't watched. And I'm sure, like, if there's avid like horror movie fans watching this, they're just like, oh, like, I never watched The Ring or The Grudge in Japanese because I just have a hard time with subtitles. So, I mean, please don't crucify me for that. It's just, it's in my head. It's my own thing. I gave it a shot with this movie. I was like, okay, I need to kind of get over this, because people have told me over the years, you're missing out. There's so many good, especially in the Japanese community, movies, and you're not watching them because, the subtitle thing, and you're missing out. But if you can get past that, it's in Russian and you have to read, and it's more on a drama level, so it's not like you're having to read so fast that you can't, that you're going to miss stuff, because that's another issue. And I had that issue with Pan's Labyrinth, because they're speaking Spanish and they're speaking it really, really fast. And that was one of those movies I had to go back and watch it twice, because I was trying to read what they were saying and I was missing stuff, and I felt like I had to follow like their every word, or I was going to miss something that somebody said and then it didn't make sense. So it's definitely a little bit easier of a foreign movie. Like, if you don't watch a lot of subtitles and you feel like, it's going to be challenging for you, this is probably a good one to start with, because it is more of a drama. So it's slower paced and they're not speaking super fast. So I didn't feel like I was missing anything, which was nice. I need to grab something for a brow bone highlight. But yeah, definitely give it a shot. It blew my mind, which probably sounds like I'm trying to make a really corny pun, but it's one of those movies, like, you're either going to love it and think that was the best thing that you ever saw, or you're going to be like, what the hell did I just watch? That was the dumbest movie I've ever seen. I feel like you're going to be in two camps with it. I feel like there's not going to be a lot of, like, middle ground with that movie. It's one of those, you're either going to love it and think, like, you know, my mind has been changed, and it's going to blow your mind, or you're going to be like, yeah, that was stupid. This lady doesn't know what she's talking about, kind of a thing. But if, like I said, if you can get past the subtitle thing, definitely check it out, because it was so good. I was, like I said, my mind was blown. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. And I'm glad that I watched it, for sure. And if you don't have Shudder, like I said, you can try it for free for a week when you sign up. And I will try and find the code. I don't get anything off of it. There's another, it was another YouTuber's code that has, like, a horror channel, so you would be supporting her channel, but I'll leave her name and the code and her channel and everything down below. But it'll give you a month free trial instead of just a week, which is what I did, because I didn't know if I was gonna wanna keep Shudder, if I was gonna like Shudder. Shudder was one of those things where I had seen, I'm just getting this stuff out, I forgot, that I had seen like advertisements for, but never tried it. And was like, is there even going to be enough content on here to be worth paying for? Because, like, Netflix has a huge library of movies. And so I was like, how big is this going to be? Because Shudder's been around for a little bit. I remember when Shudder first came out. It was a while ago. So Shudder's been around for a little bit, and there are Shudder exclusives. There are movies, and there's some good ones on there too that I have in my list to watch that I'll probably review. But so far, and like I said, it's only $5.99, so it's cheap. And they do change the library, so they're constantly changing the titles. Again, like I said, it's not as huge of a selection as, like, Netflix or, like, Hulu, but it's big enough that I still have stuff to watch. I haven't gotten through my list yet, and then there's movies that I've looked at. Sorry, eyeliner is hard for me while I'm talking, but there are movies that I haven't put in my list that I do want to watch too, so there's a decent amount out there. And they do have a couple of shows that are Shudder, like, exclusives. One of them I have thought about watching. It's about a magician, I think. So yeah, definitely check it out. And then if nothing else, you can try it for free for a week and then cancel it. But I definitely recommend, again, it's called My Blue Mind. And I think it's a little play on words, because she is, like, she's a teenager, so she's a little bit depressed, and then she's also turning into a fish person. So then there's that, on top of turning 16, having to start a new school, and all of that fun stuff. I'm just gonna curl my lashes, and then we can kind of briefly talk about my eyeshadow, maybe. I don't know that I'm crazy about the colors combination that I put on my lid, but I like the look. My brushes are a little bit dirty, so that could be like, it does look like it got a little muddy in the crease, but some of that could be because my brushes need to be washed. I do color switch them, but that doesn't get everything, so I'm not gonna say that it was the palette because I won't know that for certain until I do another look with like brand new clean brushes. So for now, we're just going to attribute the muddiness to my brushes being a little bit dirty. So we'll just, there was some fallout. There's some fallout on my nose. Fallout's not a deal breaker. Just use a big fluffy brush and don't push hard. And I've never had a problem with eyeshadow streaking or staining my face. Yeah, just don't push down. Don't try and rub it off with your fingers because it will like stay on your face. But yeah, use a fluffy brush. Don't push hard and it'll come off. I'm just gonna do the bottom and we'll dig out a lip color. I don't remember the director's name, and I was gonna write it down, but like I said, it's in Russian, and I honestly probably couldn't have pronounced it anyway, and I don't want to butcher I think it was a guy. I don't want to butcher the director's name, so I didn't bother like writing it down before I started. I was going to write down all the actors, but I was like, I'm probably not going to be able to pronounce it, so I don't know what color I want to do with this look. I didn't really pick out a lip color. Not on top of it. I don't know if I want to do, I don't think I want to do a liquid lipstick. I think that might be, I wanted to do obviously something, oh, I do have I don't know if that's going to be too much. I do have a mint green from Lime Crime, meant to be it, or I have a blue maybe. I don't know what I want to do. Probably should have picked out a lip color before I started. Do we want to do mint or purple? Mint, purple. Let's go with the mint. Kind of an aqua theme going on here. And I have never used this lipstick. I couldn't get any of it. Okay. I don't know that I did. This is not an everyday color. I don't know if it necessarily goes as the eye look. But I feel like it does kind of go with the mermaid theme that we're kind of going with here because the movie was about a mermaid. And I did use the mint Jeffree Star highlighter. So there's the finished look. I feel like the lip is a little distracting. I apologize. I didn't pick out a better shade prior, but I was kind of, and you can see I didn't even get it all the way. But that is very opaque. But that is a color right there. But yeah, definitely check out my Blue Mind. This is the look that I created with the Blue Moon palette from ColourPop, and then that was a Lime Crime lipstick in Mint to Be. I feel like I look like a mermaid or somebody that fell off of the Titanic and was in hypothermic water. Either way, it kind of goes with I was trying to do like a themed look with the movie. So hopefully this wasn't too long or too boring. Let me know what your comments were. I want to start doing this every week where I review a movie and I'll do an eye look to kind of go with the theme of the movie, whatever that may be, my interpretation of whatever the theme is of the movie. So yeah, I love horror movies. I love movies in general. Horror is my favorite genre. So most of the movies I review will probably be from that genre. I can't say that all of them will, but most of them probably will be. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and giving this a chance. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts were. If you've seen the movie, leave me a comment. Do you like it? Is it a movie that you would recommend to somebody? What were your thoughts on it? Yeah, I'd love to get a discussion going on that. And again, please take a moment if you have not already and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my review next week. I'm thinking about doing, was it The Summer of '84? I think is what it was called. It's another movie that I saw it and I was just like, why are no